Hi, my name is Max and I'm 10 years old.
And hi, my name is Landon, and I am 7 years old.
And I have one question. How does a 3D printer make color?
I'm Ben Cox. I'm a fifth-year graduate student in the Department of Medical Physics here at UW-Madison, and I'm also an assistant engineer in the Medical Engineering Department at Morgridge. So 3D printing is printing or making an object layer by layer. And all the different 3D printing techniques, they differ in how each layer is constructed. And so each type of printer has a different way that it's possible to add color. So if we start with the simplest kind of 3D printing, the kind that most people have been exposed to, which is extrusion-based printing, where they take plastic and they melt it and squeeze it through a die and then lay out each layer. And that we call fused deposition modeling, or FDM. In that case, the only way to truly add color is by having colored plastic, because that's the material being used. And so things like if we had red plastic or orange plastic, you'd have a red or an orange part. If you want to, in that case, print more than one color, you need more than one print head that has, multiple materials. And so you could have, a blue and a black print head coming in to print two color parts. But the limitation there is you really need print heads for each color. So that's the most simple kind of coloring, is where you just have a colored material. The same is true for UV curing resins, where we have, it's a technique called stereolithography. And it's a technique where UV light cures the resin. And so you have a vat that's filled with resin. And so if you have a colored resin, you'd have a colored part. In that case, it's really hard to incorporate more than one material because the vat just contains one material. So you'd have to have something like a separate vat, or something where you took a printed part and printed on top of it. And people are experimenting with all kinds of ways to do that. There are, however, printers that do true 3D color. But all of them actually apply color the same way we've been applying color for years. They actually use HP or inkjet print heads. And so some of the most common techniques are inkjet powder-based printing. They'll kind of come in with a print head, and they'll actually put colored glue on top of the powder. And so then you get nice, beautiful 3D colored parts, but they're kind of powdery parts. And so you need to seal them with something like a glue. A similar process, they actually cut out paper, and they'll do ink on paper, and they'll actually build a part with slices of paper. And so in the case of the powder-based printing, they apply the color to the glue, and that's what holds the layer together. In the case of the paper-based printing, they're applying color to the paper. You always need to find a way to construct a layer before you can add color, because you have to incorporate the coloring into the 3D printing process.